Hello, I'm Jill Mundy, and today I'm going to talk to you about making a crocheted rosette that you can use for a brooch on your cardigan or jacket, or as an addition to a handbag, something like this. And this one has actually got a brooch pin on the back, so you can use it on whichever you like at the time. You can have a brooch to match your bag, and then it can also match what you're wearing as well. You need to start by just making a chain with your yarn, and roughly 40 or 50 stitches depending on the thickness of your yarn. And then the first row is double crochet all the way to the end, just in every stitch. It's a nice quick project to do this, so you can do it while you're sitting watching the TV in the evening, or if you're on a bus, on a train. Just one very small ball of yarn and a crochet hook, and away you go. When you get to the end of the row, the first row, double crochet, get to the last stitch, and then chain 3, turn it round, and then the next row I'm going to work in treble crochet. So it's the yarn round the hook, through the stitch and pick it up, round the hook and through the first 2, round the hook and through the next 2. Carry on with that into every stitch. Until you get to the end of this row. So when you get to the end of your row of treble crochet, we get to the last layer of the rosette. Obviously you can make it as large as you like, and just keep going with the double or treble crochet. When you've gone to the last stitch, again chain 3 and turn over, and then in every other stitch this time we're going to do treble treble. So it's a cluster of 3 treble stitches in each stitch, then 1 chain, miss the next stitch and go into the third one from the hook. Okay. When you get to your last stitch, just pull the yarn through again and then leave quite a long length, because you're going to now thread this onto your needle to stitch the rosette together. Pull the loop all the way through and fasten that off, and that's now nice and firm and secure. And you can see that it nicely starts to curve around, which is going to help you get that gathered effect when you curl it into your rosette. This is quite a thick yarn, so I've got a needle with a large eye on here. Just thread that very quickly and just weave the needle down to the lower edge of your piece of crochet. And then just start to curl it around and put a couple of stitches to hold it in place as you go. probably easier to work underneath. If you want to gather it a little bit as you go to make it even more, if you've done your strip a little bit longer than you think is necessary, you can always put a couple of running stitches through and gather it up before you put the next stitch. I'll just do this quite quickly now so you can see the next stage. You can also gather it as tightly or loosely as you like. Making sure that you're winding it slightly outwards in the spiral all the time. Otherwise you'll get quite a tight rosebud effect if you don't do that, which you might like. Just catching down the edges as you go. When you get to the last little bit, just tuck that one underneath so that you don't have a really big edge to the spiral. Finish that off and just hide the end in the stitches. So there's your rosette, and then you need to choose a nice button to go in the centre. Again, a button with a shank on it like this is quite handy because it's, especially with a chunkier yarn, you've got that hole in the bottom there and you can just poke it through and secure it firmly in place. Again, finish it off on the back and hide the end. And there's your finished rosette. And then all you need to do is attach your brooch back to the back of your rosette with tiny little over sewing stitches through the holes on the pin. Try and get that centrally over the button, and then you can attach. A nice, simple, easy project that you can just sit in the garden, sit with a cup of tea, and you've got one finished.